2-6. This is Rack Noble for Boxing UK, here with Spencer Fearon. Spencer, of course, you've heard the news of the last few days. The fight between AJ and Dillian Whyte has been called off. Dillian Whyte has tested for an analytical finding in his VADA test. What are your thoughts on this?
I haven't got no thoughts on it. It is what it is. I'm very I'm saddened by what's happened. To the simple fact, like, you know, just like you, Mr. Noble, I've known you for many, many years, and I've known Dillian Whyte for many years. Even before I knew you, and I've known you for years now. So I'm saddened by this.
Of course, in the last time out when it was Rivas, you was quite vocal in defending Dillian Whyte. You got behind his corner and you backed your brother. Of course, this is not.
Yeah. One second. And what did that do for me? What did that do for me?
You got
what did that do for me? That was part of the thing with me losing my contract. That was part of the reason why they tried to stop my contract at Sky. You know what I mean? The backlash that I got for backing Dillian Whyte on that, you know what I mean? Was ridiculous, right? And like I said, and is it something that I'll do again today? Absolutely, right? If that same situation came up, because I did hear off of good source, right? And I did say at the time what it was alleged, but they were looking for an excuse anyway. They just couldn't take me. I was maybe where I was at that time, maybe I was a little bit ahead of my time. Do you know what I mean? Because after that, you go back, it was all like 18 months after, then George Floyd died, and then everything that I was saying at that, when I was inside on that station, set up requesting for more inclusivity, for multiculturalism and stuff like that. You know what I mean? They've had to start to address it now. Now, whether they want to admit it, but they know who started it. They know who the person was that was upfront and hard about speaking about it. They know who that was. That was me, right? Because I remember when I saw you, Rakim Noble, at the Black Lives Matter march. Now, this we're going back 7 years ago now, you know? Right? 7 years ago. And I remember you said to me, you got to be careful being here because you're on Sky. I remember that. That always stuck in my head, you know?
2016, that was. 2016.
And I said, what did I say to you?
You said you do your thing. You said you speak for your people. No one's going to stop you from speaking for your people.
Thank you very much. So what I'm trying to say is this. It's like, only speaking for people thing, I just got to keep this thing real. Like, when you act on a certain thing, certain respect should be given. Number one, I'm an elder in this thing. I've done everything that's been possibly asked to go and do in professional boxing, right? And I know the doors that are broken down, the barriers that are broken down, not by kissing ass and KKK when you don't have the KKK, right? So hence why that's why me and Tundi started our own channel, which is blowing, it's flying right now, right? So what I'm trying to say is, like, you can be anybody who you want to be, and you can still stay true to who you are. And you loving your cultural identity, there should be nothing wrong with that. And anybody who's got a problem with you loving your cultural identity, is a hater of your culture. But yet they still want to jump onto our culture for anything good and grab what they can from it. Right? And this is not a black or white thing or all the rest of it. No, because I've got many brothers who are not of the same cultural identity as me. And so spare me on that one. But when I see certain things that I can feel that are, listen, man, like I said, I'm tired of speaking about this thing, but I stood for Dillian Whyte hard, and everyone knows I stood for Dillian Whyte hard. Do I class Dillian Whyte as a friend? Yeah, absolutely, I class him as a friend. When my mom was in the hospital on her last days, and he was getting prepared to fight Tyson Fury, he would religiously send me video messages from my mom. He would religiously FaceTime my mom while she was in hospital. You know what I mean? Those things, you don't cut those things, like that, right? But also, everyone's got their own ways. So I want to know, who did Dillian Whyte have employed around him to make something like this come up again for the third time? Nah, man, spare me, man. So like I'm saying, when I go out now, pardon me?
Can Dillian come again? Do you think that he'll be able to get back into the mix? Do you think that people will let this slide and he can get to another fight?
No. How can they make it slide? No. I don't. And I'm not, unless I hope that he can get off, but no, I can't see that one happening. You know what I mean? And I only hope that if he can get off, he's innocent. If you're guilty, no, I don't want to get off. I'm sorry. I'm tired of backing these people, right? And then it's not reciprocated, or they try and find fault on certain things. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. You know what I mean?
And of course, on
It's
Saturday,
absolute bullshit.
of course, on Saturday he was meant to fight Anthony Joshua.
Well, it's not happening now, is it?
Not happening now, but of course, there was words that I've heard that potentially it could be Helenius. Seconds out, Radio Raheem said he spoke to Derek Chisora. Derek Chisora said that he's been told to get ready for the fight. Have you heard anything of who it could potentially be stepping on Saturday night?
I've heard that it could be a multiple people. I've heard Otto Wallins on standby right now. Right? I've heard Gerard Washington's on standby right now. And I know that Derek's on standby right now because I spoke to Derek yesterday. But bottom line is this, I can't comment on it at all. But what I am saying is, where's the love? You know what I mean? Because I know how Matchroom moved hell and high water to defend Conor Ben at this time when that happened with Conor Ben, but it doesn't seem like the same thing's been reciprocated for Dillian Whyte. But that's because Matchroom know now that what happened with Conor Ben, they now know the blueprint of how to react and how to behave when something like this happens. And this is how they're behaving towards it right now.
Do you think this could be a problem going forward, where if a fighter does pop dirty, promoters are now understanding ways to kind of get around it? If they got a bit of money and a decent lawyer, they could potentially almost get away with it if they were.
Well, the thing about it is this. I said to you when you interviewed me down at the Floyd Mayweather public workout, and I said, I don't want to talk about the Conor Ben thing. I think he's actually innocent, right? Mm-hmm. But the general consensus is that Conor Ben's dirty. But I don't believe that. And whatever reason is for him to get his license back, for him to continue his career, let him continue his career, but let this be a warning to anyone. Don't take nothing at all. So I'm not, it's like when guys are taking a steroid, an anabolic steroid, right? You're a coward. Period. That is all that you are. You're a coward. And you know because you box. You box at a very decent level, right? So you know. Somebody pops dirty, you're a coward. I don't care who it is. But like I'm saying, loads of people thinking, yep, Spencer's going to be out there screaming Dillian Whyte's innocent. And that I don't know whether he's innocent or not. What I do know is that I regard him as a friend and I hope that he is innocent. That's what I can say on him. I can't say nothing else. So I'm not rambling hard on no one to be offending no one, because I've noticed those same ones, they're not talking about Dillian, but those same people who you always out defending and running out to defend, when you're in your hour of need, they're nowhere to be seen. They're quiet. You know what I mean? There's only a couple, man. I ain't gonna call no names to overly big them up, but when you are in certain situations, then maybe certain people go talk up all the rest of it. So it's like everyone is where they're meant to be. You know what I mean? And
I was just
told people loads of times before, man.
I just wanted to touch on another friend, of course, Anthony Joshua, another good friend of yours. He's in this, is pretty much the victim of all of this because he's now left without an opponent. He's now got the last minute change. So whether it is Gerard Washington, Chisora, Otto Wallin, or Helenius, how difficult do you think it will be for him to focus and adjust with all that's going on and having a big fight rescheduled for a new opponent 5 days in advance?
But funny enough, I spoke to Lennox Lewis yesterday, and Lennox was saying to me how difficult it is to readjust when you've been training for a certain opponent. So he's been training for how many weeks now, preparing for Dillian Whyte. Now Dillian Whyte is no longer his opponent. And now you've got to change that, readjust to go fight somebody else. It's especially different when you're...
Especially if it's a southpaw.
Yeah, exactly. It's different when you're coming up. It's different when you're coming up through the novice stages, because you find out your opponent is maybe a week, couple days before you fight. You know what I mean? They're flying someone from Lithuania for you or something. But it's totally different When you're
Yeah, of
at
course.
that level and they're changing opponents like that, switches usually they've done it before with him. Andrew Riz, he was meant to fight. He was meant to fight Big Baby Miller, and it got switched, and he didn't perform, and he lost. So I don't know. I don't know how or what AJ. I know that AJ just wants to fight, but then also I don't know how the energy in the camp is going to be anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Derrick James just lost the biggest fight of his life. He must be on a massive downer. And if you're not, you're lying, right? Because Errol Spence was your guy. The whole camp was built around Errol Spence. Everyone else came second, even though Errol Spence is a profusely humble human being. But I know how it was running there. So Errol Spence has come up second best. The morale in that camp must be on a downer. So, I'd like to know if that's going to affect, I'm just being real, if that's going to affect Anthony Joshua. I hope that it's not going to affect Anthony Joshua, but I think that would affect Anthony Joshua.
And of course, just wanted to touch on another point outside of the Joshua fight. Last night, you said you'd be amazed if the Smith Eubank 2 fight went ahead. What made you say that? Why would you think that?
When did I say that? On the show?
I think it was on your show, yeah. I was said that you said you'd be amazed if Smith Eubank 2 actually went ahead. Is there some insight
I
there?
must have said that. I don't think that was, I don't think I said that. You know what? He's now training with Bomac, right?
Mm.
And I'm just keeping this thing 100. Chris Eubank Jr. is a glorified glory hunter. That's what he does.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Oh, let me go with him because he's hot, he's name, he's da-da-da, and all the rest of it. No, bro. That your skill. Build your name off of building your name. Unfortunately, you can't build your name off of building your name because your name was built off your dad anyway.
Mm.
Right? And that's not me gunning you. Your name was built off your dad. Now, usually, if your name is built off of your father, yeah, you are meant to do your best to try and take it to the next level. Very difficult to take it to the next level when Chris Eubank Sr. is a British boxing icon. You know what I mean? And a 2-weight world champion. So it can be very, very difficult for you to build your name surpass that name. But you've actually gone into the same sport as what your dad was, and you're boxing at the same weight that your father boxed at. Very, very difficult. So maybe I said in real, I said I'd be surprised if that fight was to happen. And that was me because like we didn't know what was going to happen with Conor Ben, and now we do know what was happening with Conor Ben. But yeah, I do think that fight's going to happen, but I think the same result's going to happen. And that's my belief. And that's not me having anything against Chris Eubank Jr. I'm just saying to you that I don't believe that you can beat Beefy Smith. I think Beefy Smith is far more technically superior to you. And I think he's more mentally in tune than where you are right now. And I don't even think that Chris Eubank Jr. should be fighting right now. I think Chris Eubank Jr. should be having bereavement counseling. And the only reason why I can say that because I lost my mom, and I had to undergo bereavement counseling. One of my dear friends, Paul Flynn, hooked me up for me to get bereavement counseling, which I'm doing that. You know what I mean? Because I'll be having anxiety attacks and all the rest of it. And that's just me. That's losing my mom. But I know them two as brothers, they were tight. Right? Because when he used to come to London to spar, I used to arrange all these sparring for him, for Ronnie Davis. So yeah, that's what I believe. And also I'm seeing you like you're meant to be fighting next month, right? And you're meant to be fighting next month, but yet you're still out at these pool parties out in Vegas and blah. Nah, bro, that don't seem like that. Don't seem like a fighter to me.
You don't think adding Bomac in the next 3 weeks can make any difference to Chris Eubank Jr.?
What difference can Bomac make in 3 weeks? Well, you got to realign and strip down core habits and then put in core fundamentals. Eubank Jr. doesn't box like he has core fundamentals in boxing, right? He doesn't throw a simple 1-2 or a 1-2 hook. It isn't. Everything that he throws is over-exaggerated. It's over-exaggerated because it's all for show, right? So there's no real substance. The substance inside of him is that he's actually a very tough youth. You know what I mean? And he's mentally headstrong. But I'm saying right now, I don't know where your head's at. So, no, I'm sorry. I don't think Bomac can do anything. Bomax is coming for a quick vacation to the UK and pick up a couple grand and go back home. That's what Bomax gonna be there for.
All right, Spencer, thank you for your time. And before you leave us, would you just like to plug us through with your YouTube channel for yourself and Tunde?
Well, I don't need to because I know everyone that listens to your thing knows the fight is right on the Sam So YouTube channel, and you know what I mean. But just keep on doing what you're doing, Mr. Noble. I'm very, very proud of you. I remember when you, as a youth, when you studying, would come down to the Real Fight Club, and them
Liverpool
times like
Street.
Darren Hamilton, Troy, Larry Dial, Nathan Graham, all them boys down there, Tristic Chat. And yeah, used to come down regularly down there as a little young kid them days. So to see like you properly gone into this and you're going really hard on it, I'm very, very proud of you, my friend. I'm telling you this now.
You've seen the come up, you've seen the progression, step by step and
Oh man,
we're not done yet.
I mean, we had you in the Sky Studios as well, man. So it is like it's really nice to see the come up and what you've been doing, man. So keep on doing what you're doing, bro.
Any more opportunities like that, you got my number.
Come on, man. They're coming, man. Don't worry. Take care. God bless, bro.
Have a good night. Thank you.
All right.